Out here, but this is going to be fire. Ready to get motivated, ready to get pumped up? Well, let's stay tuned and let's get into it right now. All right, what's up, congratulators? What's up? I'm Xavier Garcia, and this is the Ultimate Psychology channel. As you notice in the thumbnail and the title, this video here is going to be about motivation. So what is motivation, right? We're going to get into motivation about the word motive. It's your reason why. It's why you do things. And what do you need motivation for? Is because when you have something special to do, you have something important, or life gets you down, you need that extra motivation, that extra oomph to get you through the day or help you to reach your goals, your long-term ones, your big challenges, your big obstacles that you have to overcome. So today I'm going to be showing you the 8 things that I do to keep myself motivated. And they're very simple, they're very easy, but that's because I know myself. So one of the first things you got to do is you have to first know yourself. You might not know who you are because life can just be that way sometimes. But when you know who you are, you know how you tick, you know what makes you work, you can start picking up on any one of these habits or these tricks or these tricks or ways. So that way when you're in a little funk or you have the blues or you're not feeling motivated, you can kick right into them. Or if they are habitual, then you never have to go back to them as much because they're already there, they're already implemented in your life, and it's like a routine and you're being a well-oiled machine with your motivation, operation at full throttle. All right, so the first thing you got to do, number one, is change your state. Now, what does change your state mean? You change your state of mind, change your physiology. Yeah, you got to do something like that to wake yourself up, get your body activated. You can go out on a jog, go exercising. You can read a book. If sometimes because the information, that book, that knowledge, when you read it, it's inspirational to you. You can listen to music. I love rocking out some music. I'll listen to rap, Nipsey Hussle, some of his latest music that came out. I'll listen to K-Love, that's positive, encouraging Christian worship music. I have playlists of music that I go to when I'm working out, when I'm exercising, or even watching other YouTube videos, motivational speeches that get me pumped up and fired up. All right, another great way to do this is positive self-talk. When you're feeling down in the dumps, you're feeling lazy, you don't want to get out of bed, or you're tired of working at your job. I can do this. I can do it. I got this. I can make this happen. I can do anything I put my mind to. You start shifting your state. You start feeling positive about yourself. You start giving yourself that positive self-talk. And the thing is, here's a mental trick, is you're going to start thinking negative thoughts. You're going to have that little voice in you saying, oh man, this is whack. Don't do this anymore, or stop. And then there's another little part of you that says, yeah, you can do it, right? But when the other little voice that comes in and tells you to stop or to quit, or that this is lame, you need to quit, it's too hard, you need to combat that with your own voice. Say, no, that's wrong, that's stupid. I'm going to carry on, I'm going to push through because I'm a man of character and I got what it takes to make it happen. So when it comes to my personal experience, going back to the videos, the books, the music, videos helped me get through it, because when I was in my grind and I had a vision, I had a goal, I had an ideal that I was striving for, listening to other people who've already done it, man, they gave me so much motivation and inspiration that I couldn't overcome too. And so these are valuable assets, and you might not feel like you're making it all the way. You might feel like you're just sludging through the day. But when you put something like that in, it gives you that little extra oomph. They've worked for me, and that's why I'm here on the other side of the camera and I'm giving back and I'm producing them myself. Another great way to keep yourself motivated is think about all the pain that you went through and that you're going through, right? That's terrible stuff. And I never want to go back to that. And anytime I'm feeling lazy, because I know you're either growing or you're dying, you're either improving or you're backsliding. So I don't let myself off the hook, and I don't let myself go drift in that direction anymore, because I know the consequences of it. I've been there. I've been in bankruptcy. I've been in that emotional meltdown. I've been in places of hopelessness. And I know where that path leads to. And I'm not going back there ever again, because I made that commitment and I had that conviction. On the other side of pain is pleasure, right? Now you get to start thinking about all the things why you're doing what you're doing. When you have that glory land, that promised land, when you finally get there, you'd be like, yeah, see, I told you so. I made it. I am somebody. I can do it, and I did do it, right? You finally get the money. You finally get the girl. You're finally living the lifestyle that you want to live. You can forgive the people that didn't believe in you. You can make a contribution to the world, and you can have a meaningful life. You can have significance. You can be what God made you to be. So think about your pains, your pleasures. Get yourself motivated through books, music, inspirational videos. Go for a long walk. Get outside of your head. Make powerful affirmations like, I am the man. I can do it. And it's something like that, anything like that, that gets that fire in the belly roaring. You start stoking it. And, you know, you feel energized, you feel powerful, you feel magnetic, and you feel, you know, unstoppable and unconquerable. So the second way to get motivated and to stay motivated is you got to have goals. You got to strive for something. If you're just wandering around with just aimlessly just going with the flow, you're going to get washed away. You're going to get washed in the tide. Okay? So start thinking about exactly what it is that you want. And you have to be crystal clear. These have to be big, magnificent goals. Things that light you up inside. That they're worthy of your time, because life is short. You don't have a lot of time. What's worth you investing, sacrificing your life, refusing and saying no to other things so that you can pursue these worthwhile goals that not only enhance your life but enhance the life of others, right? That serve you and help you become all that you're capable of becoming. And so discipline, this is aside from motivation, because motivation kind of comes and goes. It's like happiness, it just kind of comes and goes. But what you got to do to stay motivated is that you got to make a commitment to your goals, and you got to have discipline every day, because beyond motivation is drive. When you're having these significant goals, these big goals, these big, huge aspirations, they're like, yeah, you know, that's worth my time. I'm excited for this. And when you make a commitment to it, and I'll give a quick example of a commitment. It's giving your life over to them. It's forsaking all others. And you have a chicken, and you have the pig, and the chicken and the pig came together, and they said, you know, Farmer John's been good to us. Why don't we make him a nice ham and egg breakfast? And the chicken said, well, the pig told the chicken, hey, well, Mr. Chicken, that's a contribution for you. You're just laying an egg. But for me, that's quite a commitment. Because why? The pig's got to sacrifice his life. And you got to sacrifice your life for these goals. But more than your goals, your purpose in life. That's what's going to give you the power, because you know why you're getting up. And what is your why? Why are you setting and establishing these goals? Are they for your own life? Are they for your wife, for your kids, for your children, for your family, your community, your people, for your God? These are the things that are going to make a significant impact, that are going to help you get out of bed and not want to stay there, because you matter, you are meaningful, and you are valuable. So take a good look at your life and examine what is worth your time, and why do you do this? And ask yourself, why? Why am I getting up today? Why does this matter? And you got to get angry with it sometimes, but anger turns into passion, okay? And passion turns into profits, not just financially, but emotionally, and with your relationships, and all you come into contact with. So do what you came here to do. Find meaningful work that's worth your time, that you make a real contribution to people, that gives them a contribution from your soul, that gives them what they need and what they really want. So that's number 2. Okay, so number 3, right? So now that you set your goals and you're all fired up, yeah, I'm gonna go do this. This is worth my time. You know, I'm using a valuable use of my time. Well, what's going to happen is your goals might be super far away. Okay, so you have to learn to celebrate the mini victories. And that way you can chart your progress along the way. Because if you're waiting for that someday to feel great about yourself, to say I finally did it and I finally pulled it off, you're going to miss all the things along the way. So, you know, yeah, your goal might be to do, 20 pull-ups or something like that. But today you went to the gym, you can't do 20, but maybe you didn't even do a full pull-up, you did a chin-up. 1. That's a victory. You did something. You got off the couch. You did what other people are not willing to do, at least in their area. And if it's something that you're doing towards your goal, that's progress. You can chart that, and you can thank yourself. You can have gratitude, like, you know what, I am doing something. I am the man. It might not be where I want to go, but I'm doing something. And even though it might seem insignificant, other people might not respect the progress that you're making or this small little victory, but you can hang your hat on it, and you take one step after the other, and you can look, I'm coming from over there. I know I still have long to go, but look at all these little things. And that's going to give you the encouragement, the motivation that you are making progress, and that it is worthwhile, and that if you've done that much, then you can do this much. So all these little victories, it's like if you're in a title fight, right? You're a boxing match and you're waiting for that 12th round to come out, and boom, you get the knockout, or you get the judges get to raise your hand, the judge raises your hand, and the referee. But you know what? It's not about just that final, you got the belt now, but that you're winning every round. When you're in a fight, boom, 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 right? You're like, yeah, I got that punch. That's a small victory. Boom, I won that round. That's another victory. And then you stack up a series of winning streaks of winning accomplishments that you can feel happy and successful throughout your whole journey. All right, so obstacles are going to come, but you're going to look back and you're going to see all these little mini victories. Be sure to celebrate them, recognize them, and take value in them, because you're going to need them along this journey, especially, again, if you have the long goals, the big goals, the 20-year goals. They're going to support you along the way, something to hang your hat on, and to feel great about yourself. All right, so you got to remember that Rome wasn't built in a day, okay? And all these days, these months, these years, depending how long this process is going to take, whatever it takes, because you're already committed, that this is where the drama is played out. This is part of the story where you're on the other side and you're like, oh yeah, I went through that, I've been through that. You might not have enjoyed it at the time, but now you're able to kind of enjoy it, because that's part of your testimony. That's your success story. It's what makes it fun, right? Because you're overcoming challenges. You're expanding yourself like you've never expanded before, because you've chosen to step out. You've made the commitment and you're not going back, right? It's too painful to go back anyways. You've come too far. So what you got to do is develop a sense of adventure, right? That you're on this journey like Indiana Jones. You're trying to find out what works for you, what way to set up your time, your days, what contacts you need to make as you're progressing on your journey towards achieving your goal. And when things get overwhelming, they overcome you and you're overloaded, just remember that, no matter how big your problems may seem, God is bigger. God is a big God. You can just take a moment. This is why we talk about in the first step, or the first way, get in a state, take a look around at nature. And I don't know where you are. Maybe you're in the ghetto. Maybe you're in some third world country and things don't look right. But if you look up at the sky, you take a small moment for peace and quiet, some stillness, you know that God is within and that He's for you. If you're doing these things, that part of your why is to serve Him, to serve a greater purpose, then He will not forsake you. And He wants nothing but your victory and your achievement. So lastly, in this process, and remembering in the process that you're always going to be in the process for the majority of the time, is that it's a marathon. And I don't know if you ever ran a marathon. I've ran a marathon, and it takes a long time. It's a long journey, but it's not a sprint. You try to take off and you're super motivated at first and you go, 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 and then you burn out, right? So you don't want that to happen. You can be motivated, and here's a tidbit I didn't share with you earlier. Motivation is not just being happy all the time. It's not about just rah, 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 yeah, 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 right? It's also, it can be an internal quiet drive that you have. It's an internal motivation. You might keep it locked up because you got it bottled up and you're on that grind every single day. You might not want to tell everybody about your plans and your goals, and that's totally, completely fine. But you keep that fire stoked within you. And you take one step at a time, you keep trudging along until you achieve your goal. So success is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Okay, number 5. Now we're almost there. We're getting down the home stretch, guys. Number 5, we first of all, number 1, we've changed our state of mind. Okay, we've established our goals. We're starting to celebrate those victories. We're making progress. We're realizing that the majority of our journey is a process, so not to be over anxious about getting there too fast necessarily, even though we have that drive, that we're going to spend the majority of our time in the process. And so what do we got to do here, right? What's another thing, a hindrance towards our motivation, something that could bring us down? And that's going to be things that you need to quit. So number 5, what do you need to quit, okay? So what you need to quit is being a quitter. Okay, what you need to quit is being lazy. What you need to quit is making excuses. What you need to quit is feeling sorry for yourself. All right, what you need to do is stop comparing yourself to others. You got your own life to live. Okay, you start comparing yourself to others, you're going to start dropping in your self-esteem, thinking, oh, I can't do it, that they're better than me, they're so far ahead, I'll never catch up. That's the wrong outlook. You have your own path, your own path to cover. You got to stay in your own lane and work your own groove, because you got something they don't got. You got something I don't got. I got something that you don't got, right? But I stay in my lane and I stay in my groove, and that's where I find my happiness. And that's where you can find your happiness too. You need to stop sniveling. You need to stop whining. Like I said before, stop making excuses. I see people on their lunch breaks and they're just playing with their video games and just having idle chatter. They're not making progress in their lives. And then when they want to achieve their goals, they got no motivations because they never build up that engine of motivation, that fire of motivation. They're looking for it. They feel like they lack it. It's because they never built it up. They never built up the reserves. So take this time to remove any of those things that need to be removed out of your life, so that way you can have this treasure chest, this war chest of motivation. We move on here to number 6. Quit being soft. Okay, life is hard, life is challenging. Life wants to beat you up. It wants to kick you in the teeth, okay? Kick you in the mouth. and you're gonna get punched over and over again. Emotional blows, relationship blows, financial blows, spiritual ones. Okay, so life's gonna knock you down, and you need to quit being soft. Man up, get hard, and persevere through these things. You have to have persistence to get through your goals. The more you develop it, the stronger you get, the easier that it gets, right? So quit being soft. And lastly here in this number 5 is quit being a hater. Okay, quit being a hater, a punk, because when you're hating on other people's success, you're not going to be allowed those same riches or that prosperity, because you're putting them down. You want to put them down. You might get boosted for a quick second. That might feel good for a moment, but you're going to come crashing down because you have no foundation. When you bless others, you bless yourself. What you give, what you get. We all know this, the law of karma, the law of whatever it is that you want to call it, but you get what you give. So quit being a hater and get out of your own way so you can advance and move towards your goals. And this will keep you motivated, at least for the rest of your life, right? So who are the people that you do admire, the people that you do want to be like? Is it for me, myself as a motivational speaker? Is it Tony Robbins? Yes. Is it Dean Graziosi? Yes. Eric Thomas, Brendan Bouchard, Brian Tracy? Yes, it's people like this. So that's who I associate with myself. This is my peer group, my reference group, right? And so when I'm going through about my day, not to mention Jesus Christ, right? Is yours the president? Is it your pastor? That is true for me. So you have to have this choir, your group, your homeboys, right? That you associate yourself, that you're one of them. Birds of a feather flock together. The more that you identify yourself with them, you get to know them, even if it's not personally on a one-to-one basis, but it's through their works, you still begin to pattern yourself after them. And now this becomes who you emulate the most, right? You become more like them. The more time you spend studying them or even hanging out with them as best you can, going to their conferences or the seminars or whatever it is for you in your craft or your profession or whatever it is that you're going after, you're pursuing, you need to find a reference group, people that play at a higher level than you, or at least at the level that you want to obtain. This will do one of the greatest things to help mold you to who you want to be, to help you achieve your goals faster, but also this group of people, they're going to be supporting you and giving you the motivation. So that way all your motivation is not necessarily internal, it's also external. So find the internal motivators, the people that you want to associate with in your reference group in your mind, but then also have real people that you like to hang out with. Because I mean, I do have people that are not super successful or superstars, but they're like famous in my eyes. They're people that I look up to, my brothers and sisters in the faith that I walk with, or just even coworkers, because everyone does have something special about them, a talent that you can learn from. And even if somebody is not your cup of tea, there's still things that you can pull from them or advice that they might have for you. So use other people, but primarily the 5 top people that you associate yourself with. They'll do the best to encourage you and juice you up every single day. I'm drinking the water. No, I'm not. I don't even know if that's healthy. Okay, but number 7 is food and nutrition, right? Man, we can get so pumped up, we're fired up, we want to go hit the books or we want to go hit the gym, and then what? We don't have that energy to get through our day. And we're tired, we're run down, we're broken, right? And you thought like, well, where did that motivation go? I remember I was like broke down one time and I was like praying to God to save me or to, whatever I was praying for. And looking back, you know what? I might have been dehydrated. I might have just needed a glass of water to make myself feel better. So take concern what you're putting into your body. If you're putting junk in your body, you're not going to get that energy that you want, that abundance to carry out your goals. And then that way your motivation is not going to be so hard to like to just grunt through it, right? Because you have natural, real physical energy from the foods that you eat. Healthy vegetables, fruits, you're staying hydrated, you're looking good, you're looking beautiful. And it's real easy to stay that way when you're juiced. So, that's how you can stay motivated, because you put the good fuel in your body and you're not having to overcome challenges that you don't necessarily have, challenges that are not really there. They're actually just, you need to be hydrated. You need to give yourself high octane, excellent foods. I noticed that also too, when it comes to food, we have to resist temptation. We have to resist the foods that we don't want. And that's kind of the hardest part, because we might know what we want to eat, but when it's sitting right next to that cake or that donut, it's like, oh, I want to get that. I want donuts, right? Or that cheeseburger or whatever it is, that fast food, that junk food. And it's hard to resist that. But you have to remember, as an example from Jesus, when he was fasting in the wilderness for 40 days, the devil came to him. And you know when he came to him? When he was fasting, at the point of appetite, because that's when we're most weakest. So Jesus overcame that, and he rebuked the devil, and he said, you know, that man shall not eat by bread alone, but by every word that comes out of the mouth of God. And so what does this mean? That it's not always necessarily what we put in our bodies that gives us our drive. It's our inner drive, and that food doesn't have to be a block for our motivation. But if we do fuel it with proper things, we're going to have the energy to carry out, to serve others and serve our purpose. Also, food is a great way to take control, because you might not have control in other areas of your life or full control, but you can control this area. I mean, you see it in the bulimics and the anorexics, right? They need a sense of control in their lives, and that's where they can go, because they don't know how their parents are going to treat them, or their coworkers, or their bosses, or classmates, but they can control with their intake. So obviously that's what they do. Besides that is obviously not good for you. It's not healthy for them. But the ability to take control, and you have the same power, the power of control, to take control of your food. And that's one way. Just like celebrating your successes, all the things you do, you can celebrate those things. And with food, you can be like, I can control this. I can't control my neighbor. I can't control my spouse, but I can control what I put in my body. And that's one of the first steps to mastery of that self-control and that self-mastery is your food and your food intake. So take advantage of that as your first opportunity. That way you're fueled, you're energized, and you can accomplish your goals easier, and the motivation is not that hard to find or to drum up or to dig up. All right, so and last point when it comes to your food and nutrition is, you don't want to use artificial stimulants. These things are going to tear you down in the end, and they'll give you a spike of energy, and then you'll come crashing down, and that's counterproductive. So you want to use real food, real energy, real positive things, so that you're really glowing and you're lighting up your life with life and light and energy. Okay, so number 8, right? We're going to finish here, and I like the number 8 because you turn it sideways and it's like the infinity symbol, and that's what we're talking about, motivation for life. And so here's the big question: how do you want to die? How do you die? How do you want to go out? Do you want to die a happy man? Okay, I use this question, and I love this question. I use it a lot because it makes me think that, I am where I am right now, and I still have a long way to go. God willing, I get to live a long and fruitful life, prosperous life. But I know that the progress that I make today, because I look back on my past life and I look at all the mistakes that I made and all the successes that I've had, the positive things that I've done. And now I have a track record of what my resume, what my life looks like. And I know that I'm going to go into the future, and one day I'm going to look back on this past year, and I'm going to reflect on who I was. I'm going to become a grandpa one day, God willing, okay? And even for my kids, and I can tell them the stories that I've done, the accomplishments that I've had. And so I want to be able to have that for my life. I want to be able to give that gift to my kids. What gift do you want to give them? What gift do you want to give to your kids? What gift do you want to give to your children? What is your legacy going to be? Is it going to be a legacy of losing, that you failed, that you didn't come and serve your purpose for your life? Or are you going to be like, I did it, and God gets to tell you, well done, good and faithful servant. So remember who you are, okay? Remember your significance. When you get down in the dumps, you're like, nobody believes in me. I'm nothing. I don't feel like doing anything anymore. Remember who you are. Remember who you are when you felt good about yourself. When you watch that movie, when you're riding around in your car, you're doing something special and significant. You're like, hey, I'm the man. I feel great about myself. You've had those moments. Recall those moments. Remember your significance. Remember that you're a child of God. That you have the power of the Holy Spirit to work through you and accomplish anything that He sets before you. So you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength. That's where I find my motivation, because He's already paid the price. Motivation, life, success, achievement takes blood, sweat, and tears. He's given the blood. Now you got to be willing to not be soft, quit being soft, put in the sweat. Okay? I see a lot of people out here. I'll go to the gym and they're doing little weak weights, and they're not even sweating. They're not grunting because they're too busy trying to look pretty. Okay? And I'm not an Incredible Hulk, but I'm getting mine in, and I don't mind who's there because I'm getting my mind. I respect myself. So you got to go out, think about how it is that you want to. How do you want to die? And that's really how it's going to be. You want to live a fulfilled life, and you have to do all that you're capable of becoming, and you can't sell yourself short. All right, so life is coming. It's going to hit you hard, and you got to decide when you get down, how do you want to die? You're going to go out like this? You're going to go out like a punk, and you're going to go down on your knees? Or are you going to make the necessary sacrifices to pick yourself up and to make it happen? You can't fail them. You can't fail the people that love you. You can't fail God. You can't fail yourself. And when life comes at you, because it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna come at you, it's gonna hit you hard. When you're trying to do something good, because it doesn't want you to win, it doesn't want you to have the victory. Come at me, bro. Come at me. I'm telling you right now, come at me. That's what you got to give. You got to give it that attitude. And that little voice, that little squeaky thing, that little lion or that tiger, whatever it is, that ferocious being, that beast, it will back down because you're the man and you stepped up. So will you step up? And until the next time, I'll see you on the next video. Love with freedom.